Hi everyone, and welcome to the Pisces August 2022 Illumination reading. Hello and welcome. So this is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. And what does that mean? That means that in today's reading, we are taking a look at a challenge that Spirit is asking you to face and overcome that will help you better engage with your unique spirit, that part of ourselves that rises up and out to meet the challenges we're asked to face. And this is also we can better unlock our own unique heroic capabilities, better be able to see our path, experience our purpose, and to get closer to those feelings of emotional fulfillment that come when we see where we fit, where we see where our uniqueness can be of service to the greater collective experience. So Pisces, this is unfortunately the second time I'm recording your reading for this month because your previous one unfortunately had a corrupted sound file, and I was just notified by that in the comments. I actually hadn't realized. So I'm going ahead and we are giving you a second message. I always feel that when those kind of things happen, it was meant to be. So maybe this is a more clear message or a message that needs to be heard by more people at this time. So we're going to jump in here and I'm going to start pulling some cards for what you're bringing uniquely yourself into the month of August. We'll pull cards for what's going on around you, and then we'll pull for the challenge and any blocks that you might be experiencing and facing that challenge. We always want to look at blocks and how to overcome them because that's really what helps us stay in flow energetically. And when we're in flow on a spiritual level, that helps all aspects of our experience, both in just our physical health. It also affects how clear we are mentally, and it affects us on an emotional level as well. How much can we connect in a healthy emotional way to who we are and what we're meant to bring out into the world? Okay, so looks like we just have judgment for your internal energy, which is very powerful. This is where I think a lot of you, I've talked a lot to how August is a kind of a catalyzing month. And with judgment coming up as your internal energy, this is definitely a catalytic month for you guys, where you are hearing the call, you're releasing a past version of yourself, and you're really leaning into the new, who you are being asked to kind of rise up. This is a really intense month for spiritual growth. And with the Ace of Cups in your external environment, this is a very positive month to, really lean into that change. So Ace of Cups speaks to love. It speaks to really getting to that place of unconditional love where we experience that feeling of our cup overfloweth. It's support. It's also the potential for new love, but I like to look at it as it's a renewed love with everything that is in our experiences, where we get to see fresh through the eyes of love. And that is very beneficial when you think about coming from this feeling of coming from the internal energy of judgment, that as you're emerging as this new version of yourself and you're releasing a past version, the energy around you is very loving and supportive, and allowing you to be able to see, I think, where this new version of yourself is going to fit into the external around you. Now, with the Hierophant, the Knight of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles, there is something here this month that this challenge is really going to push you to take a look at where you have limited yourself with your own internal belief structure. And this actually mirrors very much your original reading. So I'm glad that this is coming out again. There's an element here of we can get to a place in our lives where we have told ourselves through our own thoughts and our own belief structures. And for you, Pisces, beliefs are very important because that is your motto in the world of astrology. It is, I believe. And that is kind of your spiritual mission in this life, is to really lean into and realize the potential for yourself and what you can create in your experience through your own beliefs, through the power of your beliefs. And this is that month that's really going to allow you to see that. Because the Hierophant speaks to the structures, the limits we put on ourselves through what we believe we can do, through what we believe others can do, and through what we choose to believe in and have faith in, meaning the laws that we choose to follow, maybe even the religious structures we choose to practice. This is all about beliefs for you this month. And with the Knight of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles coming up, there's an element here of having really, I think, made peace with an element of yourself where you were going out there to kind of do what feels good. The Knight of Wands is a Sagittarian energy. It's one that's fiery. It's one that kind of gets you moving towards your passions, playing with life again so that you can find that spark. And the Nine of Pentacles speaks to independence that comes from that. The beauty of having that stable home life or the lovely career where you feel very successful. There's an element of being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But there's also the boundaries that are put up when we get to that point where we enter a comfort zone. And in order to get to the Ten of Pentacles, which is the final card and our ultimate legacy fulfilled in the physical, we must leave the safety of the walled garden of the comfort zone. And that's where you're being challenged to take a look at your own belief structure. There's an element here that sometimes we get to that really wonderful place of independence and we're so busy enjoying the fruits of our labor that we forget that there's something greater out there that is calling to us. And that's the Judgment card coming in. And then it doesn't mean that we have to sit there and throw away everything we've worked towards. It means that it's time now to kind of shift our focus to a broader perspective for ourselves. It challenges us to say, can we do more? Can we go bigger? What's the next spiritual growth spurt that's just around the corner? So we have Queen of Wands and Nine of Wands. Yeah, there's definitely a very fiery energy that's coming through here for you, Pisces. The Queen of Wands is in your main challenge position. So this is your main block. The Queen of Wands, I always like to look at her as kind of like the witch in the tarot. She's the one who's discovered that she can use her own magic, her wand, which is her connection to her eternal flame, her own unique passion. And she can literally manifest for herself what she would like in the physical or even within herself. She can even manifest her own emotional experiences, but she gets to manifest where she would like to, meaning that she's discovered that she can grow flowers in a barren desert. She has discovered that no matter where she is, there she is. There is her magic. And that can be a little intimidating, because it makes us really question, well, if I can create for myself what I want for myself and where I want, then we don't have a lot of excuses to hide behind as to why. I'm actually going to take that as an interesting way of how that card came out here. Oh, Three of Wands. Okay, so wow, all wands. So yes, this is definitely about passion and action. But what I was saying here is that it puts us in a place then of almost personal responsibility for making the change. That if I can use my magic to, again, create anything for myself, any experience that I want to experience, if I can literally grow flowers in a barren desert, well then now I've realized it's on me to do that. I can't wait any longer for someone else to create this for myself. I now have to really start practicing the use of my own inner power, my own inner passion. And the Nine of Wands speaks to getting to that place where it can be a card, a little bit of burnout, where we've gotten to this place and where we've taken so many steps of action. And it's almost the closeout of a cycle. Similar to the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands is one card away from the closeout of a cycle. And this is where we get to that point where we almost have to stop. We have to take a breath. We have to look at how far we've come, and we have to dig into that Leo energy of courage, of really saying, I'm exhausted, but I can see how far I've come, and I know that I can take the next step to get to the final resting place. I know that I can close out this cycle. I know that I can take one more step based on my own connection to my passions. But it's also one where we have to really understand that we kind of can't get stuck in that martyrdom energy of, well, I've come so far, but I've done so much, and I've done this maybe for other people. And I get to that point where you're kind of, you're looking at your own inner flame here with the Queen of Wands, but the Nine of Wands can be something where we've decided to take action for others, where we've put ourselves in positions that were based on outside influences, meaning that maybe we were pushed to move to a new location because our significant other wanted us to do that, or we were pushed to change jobs multiple times because a company closed, or we were laid off, or the pandemic, you name it. And it's that element of looking back and saying, ugh, but can I go that one extra step? I've done so much maybe for other people. And even though I know now, I can see what I want to create for myself, there's this element of again, just having to take this moment, this pause, and steel yourself really internally to challenge yourself. It's almost like understanding at this point how much further you can go. And it's not about just maybe the next step, which is something you would kind of maybe had your eyes on, like, well, the next step is to really lean into finding my footing in this new job, or finding my footing in this new relationship, or finding my footing in whatever. It's realizing, well, wait a second, maybe it's much more than just finding my footing. Maybe there's a much larger purpose for me choosing to take action. And that is stemming from a call, a new version of yourself that you're realizing maybe has been lying dormant, or you're just starting to uncover now. And that's where the power is coming from. And that is going to challenge your beliefs of what you're truly capable of. And also, maybe the beliefs in general that you followed to this point. This can also get you to that place of realizing, oh my gosh, I no longer believe in that. This could be where we start to challenge our own political or religious beliefs, or we start to challenge our familial beliefs, where all of a sudden you realize, I don't want to follow that path that everyone in my family has followed. I'm realizing now that the structures that are in place need to change for this new version of myself to come in, for this new version of myself to create my own magic. And with the Three of Wands at the heart of your reading, this is what Spirit's asking you to embrace to really help you move through this challenge and move through any blocks that come up this month. The Three of Wands is an energy of waiting for your ships to come in. It's a very positive energy. It shows that there is energy moving towards you, and that it is based on past actions that you have taken. It's also a card, and I love in this specific deck, you notice very similarly to the Queen of Wands in her original depiction in the Rider-Waite Tarot, there's an individual sitting in the desert growing lotus plants. And there's almost this feeling with this specific card coming out in this deck that it's about while you're waiting, learning to practice your magic and learning to grow those flowers in that desert, so that when whatever is coming your way, whatever energy is coming your way, whether this is individuals you're meant to meet, whether this is the promotion you've been waiting for, whether this is a new romantic opportunity or a way for you to grow, even maybe geographically, to move, something along those lines, that you've already proven to yourself the flowers that you can grow in a barren desert. So you're spiritually asking you to focus your energy, practice your magic, and really get to seeing what you can grow through the power of your belief this month. Meaning, this could even be as simple as setting an intention of saying, I'm going to go ahead. I really want to grow my, feeling of community where I am. And I'm going to just go online and see if I can find some place that connects directly to who I am. Maybe I want to go join that yoga class that's down the street, or I'm going to join a meetup group with people who seem to be like-minded, or I'm going to be more open and receptive to my neighbors as I walk through the neighborhood. Something as simple as that, to say, I want to connect intimately with more people within my community. And through the power of my belief in creating space for that, I'm going to see what grows for me. And it's going to be in the little synchronicities that happen that's going to allow you to really say, that's the new version of myself, and that's where I'm working with my magic, and this is what I'm realizing I'm capable of. Because on the other side of that, we have the Two of Swords and the Moon. The Two of Swords is one where we are sitting in a place of indecision. We are kind of looking at two truths for ourselves, and we can't see which truth is more in alignment with ourselves. So we have to sit and really go within. We're holding two swords, and we know that we can't look at either sword and say, well, this one is the one that's going to actually be more successful for me. This is my sword of truth. This is my sword of success. Instead, we have to go within. We have to close our eyes, and we have to go within to tap into our intuition, which you're very good at doing, Pisces. And that, in holding two swords of equal weight, you'll be able to actually feel which way is the way for you. And that's going to come from you practicing that internal magic, practicing tapping into your intuition and the power of your belief to create for yourself what you like, where you are. There's something very grounding about this energy as well, about really holding yourself accountable to being in the present moment, holding yourself accountable to maybe, instead of like here with the Knight of Wands, who kind of just goes here and there and everywhere, it's about holding yourself accountable to making what you want here, not looking to the future, not looking to something outside of yourself to really kind of come in and fulfill and help this. It's saying that as you're waiting for things to come in, ground yourself where you are now and work your magic here. And it'll allow you to use your intuition to really see the truth that you need to see about yourself, because then we have the Moon as your final point of challenge. And the Moon really harnesses your energy in the tarot. It's a card that is of Pisces, even though it also kind of can have a dual relationship with Cancer. But you see your fish represented in this image of the Moon. And there's an element of being called up out of a comfort zone, but being asked to walk that path on faith, because the way is laid with shadows. We're walking through the moonlight, and you can see the lobster's being called up out of the sea, which is his comfort zone, 9 of Pentacles, and being asked to journey on dry land towards something he's being called towards. And for a lot of you, that's what this is going to feel like. It's going to feel like leaving a comfort zone, but being called up to a much greater path for yourself. And with the clarity of what you can create, the clarity of your beliefs, and the truth that those beliefs are based in, that's what's going to give you the ability to really, have the faith to walk this new path on faith. Have the faith to show this new version of yourself. Have the faith to change your belief structures to accommodate a much larger vision for yourself. Oops, let me see here. Make sure the cards are upright. I don't like to put reversals in, so if the reversals do come out, I honor them. But and actually, you know what? I'm going to use a different deck. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to clarify some of these cards now before I pull additional cards for advice from Spirit. So let's go ahead and see. Actually, I'm going to pull a card for Judgment. I want to get a deeper look at that energy that you're coming in with. What does Pisces need to know about the call to judgment that they're feeling? What does Pisces need to know about judgment? Six of Wands, okay. It's a card of recognition. It's a card of success. I think for some of you, you're realizing, okay, so you have the Chariot and the 10 of Wands. So there's the final closeout of the cycle. I think for some of you, you're realizing that you're seeing with the Chariot, you're seeing the way forward. The Chariot's a lovely card of, both of these cards actually represent coming home. They represent having an eye to what feels like home for yourself. The Chariot represents getting your head and your heart in alignment and allowing yourself to direct them towards your ultimate destination. And the Ten of Wands is carrying a heavy burden. It's the next step with from the Nine of Wands. It's making that decision to carry your burden one more step further, and then there's a homecoming. You're able to get to that final place and put the burden down. So there's an element of success, I think, coming in with the Six of Wands, the Chariot, and the Ten of Wands, that for some of you, you're having this breakthrough of seeing what feels like home for you, of putting down a burden you have long since carried that possibly was placed on you by external events or other people. And there's an element of success now coming through and understanding that you, in this next cycle, you don't have to take on those burdens. You don't have to kind of be directed by what's going on around you. Instead, you get to be in the driver's seat this time. And that driver's seat now has an eye to using your magic to get to where you want to be. Okay, so now we have the Queen of Wands. I love the Queen of Wands, such a powerful energy. And we have the Knight of Cups, love that. There's the hopeless romantic, or the hopeful romantic, as I like to say. That's getting ready to go out there with an optimistic view to sharing what you love. So there's getting back in touch with that place of rose-colored glasses, of this is what I love. I'm going to go out there from what I love. And we have Judgment again, so double confirmation. So a lot of you, this is really having a call to, again, change your perspective. So that was the big message that came through in your original reading, was changing your perspective on your role in what happens in your life. Meaning that instead of kind of just going with the flow and having to feel like you're kind of navigating based on external circumstances, forcing you to do X, Y, and Z, or forcing you to kind of feel like the Knight of Wands where, excuse me, you're going here, you're going there, you're not quite sure what feels good. This is saying the call to judgment is realizing what you love and being ready to go out there and share it from a place of vulnerability, but also understanding your magic and the power you have now to manifest from that place for yourself. This is a very powerful time to step up into that place of, really stepping into the, being the charioteer to your chariot, stepping up to hold the reins of your, driving forward. It's not about somebody else now. It's about, this is what I want. This is what I know I'm capable of. And I'm going to courageously go forward. No matter how tired I am, no matter how long this journey has seemed to be. And then we have the Three of Coins. I love that and the Nine of Wands again. Okay, double confirmation there. So it's the same card on top of the same card. So with the Three of Coins, this speaks to having an eye to the broader vision for what you want to build for yourself, but understanding that we build it faster, stronger, and better when we bring others on board. So I think this is the realization of, with putting down the burden here, there's a realization of, I don't have to do it alone. I don't have to be the martyr anymore, where I'm the one kind of out on my own doing everything for everybody else. It's the realization of, I see the vision I want for myself. I feel it. And I'm going to allow others to come in and help me get there. And that's really where the success comes in, the Six of Wands. It's the realization that this cycle doesn't have to be done alone. Okay. There's also the element, too, of really pushing forward with the Nine of Wands and the Three of Coins, to really push forward towards setting, taking those first steps towards what you want to build for yourself. What is that much larger dream for yourself? If all of a sudden you had an eye maybe previously to build a home, and now all of a sudden you have an eye to build this massive cathedral-like structure, well, it's time to realize that it's time to take that first step, the first step towards the larger goal, from the place where you are now. to close out the past cycle and to say, I'm starting with an eye to a much larger vision, and one that's going to include others with me now, and others that will now honor the magic that I bring as I honor the magic that they bring. Okay, so let's see what the Three of Wands is coming in. What can you kind of expect as you're working with your magic? You're practicing what you can grow through the power of your beliefs. And what is Spirit preparing you for? Four of Cups. Okay, I love that. It's helping you get out of a place of dissatisfaction, of a lack of emotional connection. And there's the Ace of Cups again. It's preparing you for new love. It's preparing you for a reconnection to yourself. The Ace of Cups can also represent the cup that we hold within ourselves. It's a reconnection to our needs, our hopes, and our dreams, and realizing that that's what we have to follow. We can't expect our external experience to emotionally fulfill us without us understanding how we need to hold our experience accountable for fulfilling our needs and taking action from that place. So there's a beautiful feeling here as you practice your magic. It's going to help you overcome this feeling of dissatisfaction and reconnect you with love. For some of you, it could actually be a connection to a new love for those of you who are in a place to meet somebody or are looking for a romantic connection. So it could be that you're preparing yourself for that. Okay, Two of Swords. We have, ooh, wow. This is a very heavy hitting trifecta here. We have Justice, the Hanged Man, and Strength. For some of you, this could be, especially if this is around meeting a significant other, or possibly a reconnection if you guys are, changing career fields or something along those lines. This could be where you are taking a look at a commitment that you're seeing it from a new perspective. It could also be with Justice. This is, a divine balance, that element of understanding that something has to be rebalanced and that you're seeing this now in a new light. That's what the Hanged Man speaks to, a forced pause that allows us to see something in a new and fresh way. And with Strength, obviously, this is tapping into that Leo energy again, to have the strength to, I think for some of you, to really see a commitment in a new way, or to commit to yourself in a new way. That's really what I'm feeling strongly here with Justice coming through, that there's something around when we think of Two of Swords and there's a lack of clarity, there's that feeling of, I don't know which way to go. I don't know more internally in the mental space of, I don't know which feels more true to me. And this is saying, well, when we think about truth, what ultimately, if you have to make a decision, if you have to make a commitment, I have to commit to a new person, I have to commit to a new career focus, a new job, a new way of creating for myself, which can also be the Queen of Wands. How can you see that in a different way based on now your connection to your own magic? How can you view what you want to commit to from a place of what you have the strength to follow through on, and what you want to, based off of what you want to create for yourself? So this is a very empowering trifecta. It's realizing that something perhaps in the past that you felt might have held you back, that scary place of making the commitment to a significant other, or making the bold commitment to following a new career path, or making the commitment to even starting your own business, or moving to a new geographic location. There's something here around realizing and seeing that in a new light, seeing that in a way that is empowering to you, that you make the choice to commit. And it is the power of your belief in that commitment that will give you the strength to then move forward through what seems to be kind of an unclear way of allowing you to really tap into moving forward from a place of faith. Okay. So we have the Six of Coins for the moon. Six of Coins is one. Ooh, and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So this could be for some of you with the moon coming in, that you are balancing something out in the physical. The Six of Coins speaks to that. It's actually, the Six of Coins harnesses kind of the lower arcana version of, or lower arcana energy of the Justice card. It's the balancing out and understanding that what we put in the physical will generally be returned back to us, even if it doesn't happen in the moment. This can be like we put a ton of energy into a past relationship that didn't work out. But suddenly now, as we enter into a new relationship years later, all the lessons learned, all the work we had to put into the last failed relationship suddenly come full cycle here. And this next relationship happens just like that, blooms into something wonderful. And the Wheel of Fortune turns in our favor. And suddenly we get the benefits of all of the things we didn't get from the original relationship. Same thing with the following of a career focus or a hobby, even a creative endeavor. This can be like where we wrote a book years ago that came to nothing. We put all this time and energy into something, and suddenly now there's a rebalancing, and somebody says, I found that book that you wrote years ago online. I'd love to partner with you again to maybe rewrite it. And would you be willing to do that? And all of a sudden you partner with somebody. You kind of re-edit the book that you had originally written. And now suddenly you have the opportunity to capitalize on all that work you had done in the past. This is a really powerful energy with the Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Coins. There's something coming back around that is very positive for you, that is based on energy that you had put someplace else a while ago that came to nothing, and it's now being returned. This is a very strong feeling that I have coming through here for you guys. So I think I can see now why I had to redo this message, because something has changed. There's something truly coming in for you guys. So this is a time of preparation. Time of getting very clear as to what you want to create for yourself, getting very clear, getting your head and heart in alignment, and really working with the power of your belief in an expansive way of truly believing. What it's not seeing is believing, it's believing is creating. Okay, now I'm going to pull 3 additional cards to get advice from Spirit here. So the first card I'm pulling is where Spirit would like you to stay open and curious too. And being curious is a very powerful principle to incorporate in our lives, because it pulls us further down our path. It's that feeling of what's around the next bend. And it allows us to also be in a place where we are receptive to the miracles that want to come in through Spirit. It allows us to have an open channel where we're just kind of in a place of open receptivity. And as we get older, we can sometimes shut that part of ourselves down. We can, turn off curiosity because we're too focused on what we already know to be. We also can sit there and say, well, I don't want to go down that road because I remember what happened the last time. And we get fearful of what's around the bend instead of curious and optimistic. So this is that beautiful point to really stay in the present and focus yourself in a way that allows for those miracles to be seen and for you to move towards them. Oh, I love this. 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael, 38, breaking down to master number 11, the doorway between here and what can be when we co-create with Spirit. The 4th chakra is the heart chakra. So this is about being curious as to where can you open up your heart. So the power of belief starts first, I feel, in our connection, in an emotional connection that we have to what we truly want for ourselves, meaning that we have a deep emotion, like real judgment energy comes from when we have that internal emotional aha moment of, oh my gosh, that feels right. That emotional connection to your internal why, the meaning as to why you're here and why you want to take action towards anything. But it's also the opening up to allow others to come in. It really mirrors the Knight of Cups here. I mean, obviously also mirrors the Ace of Cups coming up multiple times, but it's that energy of realizing this is me, this is what I love. And the more that I share from a vulnerable place about what I love and what I want to open myself up to, the more I share my needs, the more I share what my hopes and dreams are, the more that I allow those miracles to come in, those things, those people to come in and honor that within me and show me a new way forward, to present me with a new opportunity, the more I allow myself to be open to the next romantic partner that's waiting to see who I am authentically, the more others are ready to see the magic and the creative potential that I have. There's an element here of just really opening that heart chakra and seeing life through the energy of love, and seeing life through the energy that you are loved, and that in a perfect world, the goal of each one of our lives is to achieve a spiritual potential that involves us getting as close to the feeling of unconditional love as possible, to where we get to see the beauty of life mirrored through us getting to experience what heaven on earth for us uniquely would feel like. And that can be in just, again, a feeling. It can be in the full total experience. But there's something here around really allowing your heart chakra to be open. And for some of you who do work, I work with sound healing. I'm looking to start integrating that more into my practice. I'm a big believer on working with frequencies and the power that the body has to be affected by different sound frequencies, and the power of self-healing that comes from that. But for those of you who are, looking to have kind of a meditative focus this month, really focusing on frequencies, listening to binaural beats, or focusing on, working with, if you guys have singing bowls or anything like that, that work with the frequency of the heart chakra. And I'll actually post that in the description box below for those of you who are interested in what that frequency is, and where you can maybe find YouTube videos, meditation videos that incorporate that, or just more information in general if you're interested in the power that sound healing has. Again, we're working with subtle energy. Tarot does the same thing. It reads the energy. It gives us a visual as to what's going on in the energy around us, so we can find the blocks and we can see what's going on. Same thing with sound energy. It works exactly with that same subtle energy that runs through us and runs beyond us. Okay, so this is a card for, of course, surrender to trust. It's a card this is where Spirit would like you to stay courageous in taking action. So keeping this in mind, you have surrender to trust. It says, trust yourself in your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. Yeah. Power of your belief. I don't think I could get more clear than that. This is really Spirit saying, surrender to trust. You're being called up out of your comfort zone to walk a path on faith for a reason. And that path is probably going to lead you back to realizing the return on your investment from something prior that had not worked out. And that's why you're being called up now to move in a specific direction again. Okay, so now we're going to pull a final card here for the concept of, contemplation. This is where Spirit would like you to stay reflective throughout the month to really kind of ground this reading into your everyday awareness. What does Pisces need to know about where they need to stay reflective? Transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. And yes, they are. This is exactly what judgment speaks to. A deep transformational change. This is truly a catalytic month if you can lean into the energy of unconditional love. If you can trust the vision you have for yourself based from the place of you understanding how to work with your own magic, and preparing yourself for what I feel is, again, a return on your investment in a way that you had not anticipated. And this is the beauty of when we open ourselves up to the power of possibilities, meaning that we are not stuck on a specific outcome, that when we put energy towards something, it has to equal this. And if it doesn't, well, then the next time I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to follow that path. This is saying that there is the element of divine justice coming in, and that even though we may not at the time see how something is balanced out, it will be balanced out. That is one of the underlying principles in our experience, is that there's always a call in our universe to balance. And I think for many of you, this lesson during this time is the realization that, again, no energy put into something will be lost. It will always be returned and, reciprocated. But when and how that happens is left up to spirit. But I think for some of you, the biggest thing is that you had to go through this transformation. You had to become a slightly different person to be able to really be able to capitalize on a part of, be able to capitalize on an internal strength or magic or view that you have for yourself. And you had to kind of almost become a stronger or larger version of who you are to be able to really understand the long-term implications and the rewards that you can reap from what you had initially invested. Okay, I'm going to pull just a clarifier card here for the 4th chakra. And then after I pull these clarifier cards, I'll pull a final card for the overarching message. Okay, so let's see. For the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead. This is a very hard deck for me to shuffle. It's big, and it's also a very slippery deck, so I'm going to pull in this fashion. Okay, 2 came out. 4th chakra, we have Seahorse Spirit, Watch and Wait, number 53, breaking down to an 8. Sandpiper Spirit, Be Playful, number 51, breaking down to a 6. 8 is the power, or is the number of personal empowerment, physical abundance. 6 is the number of love. So there's truly this energy coming through of opening your heart and watching and waiting for what comes in. It's going to be a lot. Ooh, for surrender to trust. Oh, I love it. Cow Spirit, the miracles are endless. Also breaking, number 15, breaking down to number 6. Love again. Yeah, the miracles are endless. So surrender to trust. Realize that miracles happen every day for all of us. Miracles are not just for one person here and there. It's not just that person miraculously survived, a terminal illness, or that person miraculously won the lottery. It's that every day there are these little points, these little miraculous points where our path can cross paths with somebody who is meant to unlock the next step on our journey, or where we get that little tiny bit of money that comes in out of the blue, or that little piece of support that we didn't anticipate when we started to walk out on that new road, that new path. And we were like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And suddenly the ground underneath your foot is there. It's almost like taking that step, in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade out of the darkness of kind of going through the mountain and having to walk across a chasm that you don't see the way. You just have to take that first step on faith, and suddenly the ground meets your foot. And that's really what a miracle is. Okay. Transformation. Let's see here. Oh, I want to come out with that too. I love it. Dove Spirit, Be Peace, number 21. And ironically enough, this came up in the same spot for you guys in the original reading. Breaks down to number 3, which is the number for me of divinity, the number of creativity, the number of being seen. A lot of actors have the number 3 in their numerology charts. It's also one, though, of greeting life with the innocence and optimism of a child. And then we have Lizard Spirit, Dream the World into Being, number 38, also breaking down to Master number 11, which is the energy of, again, walking through that portal between what is and what can be when we have faith and believe in co-creating with Spirit. So be peace, meaning be at peace with yourself, be at peace with this new version of who you are, and be at peace with dreaming the world that you want to experience into being. Okay, so now I'm going to pull a final card here for the concept of what your larger overarching spiritual lesson is this month, and I'll read the full excerpt from the book that comes with this oracle deck, so you can get a additional message that doesn't come directly from me. All right, so what does Pisces need to know? Okay, so we have Dark Angel number 30, also breaking down to a number 3. Okay, just had to grab the book there. All right, let me take a drink of water before I start. And we have, oops, actually, sorry, wrong book there, guys. Here's my book for this one. Okay, so it says, the dark angel comes to you with a radical truth. Divine love is always there for you without exception. And this is what the Ace of Cups is, divine love. Love will never forget you. It will never stop caring for you. Even when it seems most unlikely, in fact, especially then, the divine is reaching for you and nurturing you. Even our wounds are ways that we can discover love and divine grace through the healing process. The divine is always helping you remember who you are and find your true joy. When the dark angel appears, you are being given a gift of light, even if it may seem to be a hidden blessing. A dark mystery is one that helps us learn that even if things don't seem to be working out according to the timing or the methods that we believe necessary, the light and love of spirit are unfailing. If a door is closed in your face, it is the wrong door for you. Divine love will ensure that the right door opens at the right time. When you encounter darkness, how you respond can make either the dark or the light victorious. You can choose doubt and fear, or you can force the darkness to serve the light by choosing trust and faith. You are spiritually advanced enough to trust unconditionally. That is the trust that burns bright now. That is the trust that burns bright, not only when things appear good, but even when your mind thinks things seem to be heading in the wrong direction. Does unconditional trust mean that you give up if things get tough, assuming it's not meant to be? Of course not. Relying on unconditional trust and understanding the dark mystery, you are willing to go through periods of not knowing. And that's the moon, periods of not knowing. You are willing to continue on your path even when you are not seeing immediate results, because in your heart you know it's right. This type of trust is powerful enough to release any separation between you and the universe. You know that even when the universe guides you into challenging territory, you shall benefit, grow in divine power, and become the amazing being you are destined to be. Praying to the beautiful dark angel and writing, drawing, dancing your feelings, or dialoguing with your dream images, you can work through the pain of a challenging time and grow in wisdom. What matters is that you honestly express the depth of your suffering. Then when you are ready, acknowledge that the experience has helped you grow. As we realize how we have grown through the experience, turning what was once a source of pain into spiritual light, we masterfully transform our deepest pain into our greatest growth and spiritual accomplishment. We become true spiritual alchemists, releasing light from darkness. As you learn to put more faith in love than in fear, your trust becomes increasingly unconditional, and you find the light even through the dark. In this way, you become initiated in the mystery of the dark angel. Then you can show others that this is possible. You can help heal others from victim consciousness and show them that inner peace is possible, even when they are facing the unpredictable twists and turns of life. If you have been going through a difficult time or struggling to heal an issue, the dark angel promises that even through the depths of despair, you shall find the light. In your own time, you will rise again into trust, restored faith, and hope. All will be well. And I don't think there could have been a more perfect message to end this reading. It is about divine trust and faith, the belief that where you're feeling called to go is where you're meant to be, and to realize that all in time will be restored. The benefits you may have not received here will be returned to you down the line. And the Wheel of Fortune shows that if you can walk the path on faith, this is where the energy is turning in your favor. This is where the miracles are waiting. And it all hinges on love. love for yourself, opening your heart chakra, and allowing yourself to see through the eyes of love. All right, Pisces, I am so glad I had the chance to do a second reading for you. I hope you have an inspired rest of the month of August, that you do reconnect with the strength of your own beliefs, and that you get prepared to have those beliefs challenged in a way that comes from a wonderful opportunity and a return to something that you had maybe felt had not gone the way that you had expected. And now you're going to really see that beautiful, miraculous return to something that is going to have the wheel turn in your favor. All right, Pisces, I look forward to reading for you in next month's September illumination reading. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. You can also learn more about what I offer. I will be actually expanding to offer sound healing as well as part of the coaching that I do. And I will also be putting in, the information about, for those of you who are interested in working with opening your heart chakra through the healing energy of sound, I will have information posted below. All right, bye Pisces.